You're such an asshole.
Hey everybody, the old captain's sick. The old captain is sick. If you want to send, if you're of the cute female persuasion, you can send your all poor babies to assholeconsulting.com. But yeah, and I know I probably look like, but I feel like shit too. I feel as good as I look, which isn't good at all. I'm 19 and working 50 hours plus a week at a warehouse. Luckily, it isn't as bad as the other places I've worked. However, I have this gnawing anxiety that I'll never develop my creativity and intellect this way. No, you won't. You're working at a warehouse. For example, I entertained the thought of eventually becoming a kernel developer. Good. I took some time learning a program language known as C, the basics of computer science, and made an asteroid blaster game out of it. The job is monotonous, but it isn't a dog shit disaster as other warehouses I've worked in, which the supervisors talk shit and or expect you to do the impossible. I found that in low-ranked jobs, working on myself, be it a warehouse, security, or something like that, it is amazing just what petty little tyrants and kings these low-ranked type of people. And it doesn't mean that if you work security or a warehouse that you're low-ranked. You are low-ranked, but I mean, it doesn't mean you're an idiot. Everyone starts out there, except rich kids. But then these losers get like a promotion to supervisor, and then they think like that's the king shit. You know, like they make 50 cents an hour more than you, and they just become the bane of your existence. I had one guy, when I was working security, this guy came into me, and he said, hey, your hair's too long, you gotta get a haircut. And I'm like, oh, and he had that fucking super trooper mustache. Well, then this guy ended up pulling over people with the security car. He's not a cop. And holding them under arrest. Well, he ended up getting arrested for impersonating an officer. And this was many years ago. And that taught me that, when you're in the bottom of the barrel, you're predominantly hanging out with bottom of the barrel type of people. And you got to get out of that environment. But if you have a good job at a warehouse and, everyone seems to be on the up and up, yeah, hold on to it. It's worthwhile. It's totally worth it. But I know exactly what you're talking about where, yeah, you're working at a warehouse and fucking Phil or whatever his name is like, hey man, I'm a supervisor. Like, yeah, take your extra 30 cents an hour, shove it up your ass. So, I contemplate doing weird shit like polyphasic sleep or reading on Zen so I can compensate for the lack of time I devote to myself, but sadly is to no avail. I was the weird kid in elementary school that would huddle into a corner, walk around alone during daydreaming about making robots. So my question is, how do I let go or release my creative urge so that it is not in conflict with me working in a job I don't necessarily like? Well, I wouldn't give up your creative urge though, dude. That's what's going to get you out of the warehouse. And especially if you're into programming or whatever. But you got to separate it. Like when I finally figured it out, and I know it sounds so easy now, but when I was going to work, I was like, this is supposed to be mentally rewarding. This is what I went to school for. It's like, no. You have your daytime job, and your daytime job is where you're somebody else's bitch because they're giving you their money. You don't own your time. So you should let go of this, I should be doing something else. No, you need to eat. You need a place to sleep. And that's why you go and you work these shitty jobs, especially as you're younger, to make ends meet. Now, you can do it smart. Again, why I recommend working as security, why I recommend working as an overnight type of person, parking lot attendant, somewhere where you're allowed to work on other stuff, in your case, learning programming languages, so you can get that money, and then you can also study and improve yourself, and then move on to your creative things. But yeah, there's no easy way around it. You are going to have to do something clever like that, and typically means working late at night, working the dog shift, which sucks, or you're going to have a regular daytime job where you're not allowed to work on anything independent to yourself, which is going to suck. Or you do that daytime job. I know you think 50 hours a week is a lot. It's not. You're going to have to work 80 hours a week to get learn your programming skills, set up your company, whatever it is your side game is, your concurrent two-prong approach side game is. You need to work 2 jobs. And that's hard. It's very hard. I did it when I was younger. I went to school full-time, worked full-time. Those were my 2 jobs. Then I worked security and wrote. Those are my 2 full-time jobs. And now, I'm older. I don't have the energy to do that anymore. But if push came to shove, I'd have to do it. And I'm like right now, I'm in the exact same situation. I'm working full-time on all this stuff that I do. and I'd like to write a book. Well, I got to write a book. This is part why I'm sick, because I thought I was 23 again, and I ended up been going to Perkins late at night, writing till 4 a.m., and then surprise, surprise, I get home and I get sick because I've been working out and running and not getting enough sleep. So there's a physical limitation the older you get. But do it now while you're young so you have that infrastructure and that system set up by the time you become an old fart like me, because your body won't be able to take it. The time to do it is now when you're young. So for your particular situation, I would, try to see if you can't get a security guard shift. That would be better than working in a warehouse, because you're occupied working at a warehouse. But if you're not going to do that, then you're going to have to work at the warehouse, and then you're going to have to dedicate at least 10 to 20 hours a week of self-instruction and self-teaching, or going to a programming boot camp online. And otherwise you will never escape the warehouse. You will never escape the security guard job. You will never escape the low-ranking job that everybody's got to work, unless, again, you are a rich kid from Winnetka. Look that up. That's a joke to people in Illinois. So that's it. So you have a choice. Do average, in which you'll be average, or do above average, in which case you'll be above average. But you got to do it smart, because not only does it make it easier, but if you try to be above average, but you do it stupidly, all you're doing is wasting time. Anyway, hope that helped out. Best luck to all of you. Toodles.